So, welcome to the Scandal podcast. I am joined by today's panelists in this Scandal Rewind series, Kelsey Bain, creator of NolaFeminizer.com, Olivia Linden of OliviaLinden.com, and Poppy Williams from YouTube channel Watch with Poppy. Welcome.
Yay.
So, we are going to be talking about the episode today, Sweet Baby, for Scandal. And I am so excited because I love the show. So, that's how it goes. So how many of you thought that this was a big contrast between this season and the very first season, which is not like we have like 12 seasons to review, but this season and the very first season, the very first episode of this first season?
I think I forgot what the first season was like until I went back and watched it again, and I definitely get the contrast.
I agree. The first season, even though it was juicy, it seemed kind of tame compared to the second season.
Yeah.
Second season was crazy to me.
I feel like the first season focused more on the different cases that they were solving.
Yeah.
And then the second season's more their personal.
Right. Olits. Yeah. All day Olits.
I actually liked this first episode, and especially going back because watching Carrie establish who Olivia is and saying, my good. Everybody's talking about her gut.
Over and over again.
Yes. I'm like, what do you have in your gut? Like, what's in there?
The show, though, I think that episode showed the most how much she was into Fitz, like how bad she had it.
Mm-hmm.
I think with her, he's the only person that can lie to her, and her gut just doesn't even work. It's like, okay. All right. Okay. All right.
It established the vulnerability for her, too, when you think about it, because she was just like, you made me mistrust my gut. I'm like, Carrie, don't make that face. But it was a really good setup for the second season, especially how vulnerable she became in the second season. What do you think, Poppy?
Yeah, I agree. I think you could totally tell the difference. Obviously, one of the biggest difference, too, was Steven. I miss Steven.
I was like, where did he go?
They just decided that, and they were rightfully so, I think, that they didn't. Could you imagine what the stuff that happened in season 2 if Steven was there? I just don't think he would have let a lot of that go down. He wouldn't have done that, And so I think they knew we need to get rid of him, not just for that reason, but I also think it was kind of like, what are we going to do with his character? And I think I've heard Shonda Rhimes say that she just realized that she wasn't going to use him as well as he should be used, type of thing.
And Harrison actually became the Steven, don't you think?
Yeah, and I think that was part of the issue, was wanting Harrison's character to develop and have some place to go, and that would be, to that role, basically. So I guess.
Harrison was Columbus Short was the only character that didn't, only actor that did not audition for his role out of the whole cast.
Really?
So she had to really want him there, you know what I'm saying? Because I watched, I can't remember what it was. It was a video that I was doing when I was researching, but I watched the video with the cast, and Carrie made it very clear that Columbus is the only the only actor that didn't have to audition.
Wow.
I couldn't see anyone else being Harrison. Like, he owns that role. That's him all day.
So solidly. Just like in the very beginning when they hire Quinn, and I'm just like, wow. Yes. Saying right before, I don't know. He's really strong.
So who's your favorite character in this episode, and why?
I liked Abby in this episode.
I didn't like Abby.
Whore.
I know, she's a whore. I think she was crushing on Steven. She was, I don't want to do it. It's too much work and it's too messy. Like, I just think she, I like the way she just spits it right out. You said you didn't like Abby?
I don't like Abby.
I think she becomes like a much more dynamic character, I think, in the second season. And then this episode, I just thought she was kind of annoying.
This episode, you thought she was annoying? I actually liked her this episode.
No, I thought she was annoying too. I thought she was annoying most of the first season, I think, too.
Wow. Who doesn't I don't know.
She's so judgmental, and Abby is just so Come on, the episode, there's so many examples of that, but she's just so just kind of like, what do you know, I don't know, I just don't like that, but I feel like that's part of her personality, but they've also developed that in her, so that, I don't know, I feel like when she does it, I accept it a little more now than I did in the first season. I was just like, who is that woman?
I honestly thought that the reason she did not like the fact that Stephen Orr was kind of standoffish, because remember, like in the second season, we found out that she was beaten in her marriage and all that stuff. So I kind of thought that for this episode, she was kind of distant because she didn't want to really associate with the concept of marriage at all. Like she was just not a fan of it. That's what I thought. But it may not be true.
But it may not be true.
It may not be true. Who is your favorite, Kelsey?
I really liked Huck, but I always like Huck, so that's kind of I like when he found Quinn in the bathroom crying and just kind of like snapped her out of it, especially when you go from like her crying in the bathroom to like now she's killing.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a murderer.
Oh, she's torturing people.
She kind of goes psycho, and it's just funny when you see like that first episode when it's like, we don't cry here. And it's like, well, she stops. Don't worry about it.
And so matter of fact and deadpan about it. Are you crying? You need to stop it.
We don't do that here.
What about you, Poppy?
I was going to actually say Quinn, just because I really feel like in the first episode, it's kind of like they're trying to establish Pope and Associates, and so it's almost like we see everything through her eyes because she's new, you know? So it's kind of like all of the new stuff we're learning about OPA, she's learning that, and we're new just like she's new. And so I just thought that was really cool how they kind of established everything in that way. And Harrison, because like you said, I mean, the first, 3 minutes of the episode, his whole spiel and just swag in that scene was just fantastic. Like when he tells her, like, this is not a blind date, basically. When I buy you dinner, you will know, basically that we're on a date. And I just loved his whole kind of demeanor, and even just how they established kind of the, I don't know, like Olivia Pope, when he tells Quinn, I work for Olivia Pope, and she has that look on her face. It's just like, what? Like, and you get, what a big deal that is. So I love that. I loved her character in that episode.
My favorite character was actually Cyrus. He was like, he needs to see you. I mean, and then when he found out that Olivia and Fitz were having an affair, the look on his face was like, what?
Mother of God.
Yes, he was like, what is going on? I love that. So who was your least favorite character in this episode? We know yours, Kelsey.
Sorry. Just annoying.
I didn't really dislike anyone in this episode. I think Steven was my least favorite character in this episode. I don't know. I like Steven. It's not like I disliked anything he did, but as far as, I don't know, I just felt like you could tell he didn't really gel with everyone. Like, he was up underneath Olivia, but you didn't really, maybe Abby a little bit, but other than that, he was just there to me, and he was getting married. And he was stressed out about that, and he was, yelling at people, but I don't know. He didn't do it for me this episode.
I can agree with that.
I would say Abby.
Abby, y'all just, I hate Abby too, so I can't really, I can't even take
I don't hate her anymore. I mean,
I still hate her. I hate her more now.
I like her later because she kind of is the only person who stands up to Olivia in the second season.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, that is true, but I also think she's kind of a traitor.
Oh, so, yeah, no.
There's that. I'm thinking if someone calls the feds on Olivia or on OPA, it will be Abby. Look for her in the bathroom. She's trying to sneak out the window. That's what I think.
I think she needs to be that way, though. I think one of them at least has to be, because everybody else is just...
Yeah, right.
Sucking her tits. Yeah. They on her teeth.
Right. As a woman, I think Abby could sense that Olivia was acting too much on her emotions. And so there's a difference between following her because she knows what she's doing and following her blindly, and she's not sharing what's going on with her, and it's personal. So her personal life started affecting their business. No one else was questioning it. So I think Abby has to be that person that's like a pain in the ass. Otherwise, they just all be like,
That totally makes me think of that scene, and I don't remember what episode it was in season 2 between her and Harrison, where when Abby realizes that Olivia had Harrison break her and David up, you know, and she tells him basically like, I get where we're at now, you know, like I see what we're willing to do here and what, you know, that this comes first, and I understand where our relationship is at right now. So, you know, but you also get this real coldness from her, and so it's kind of like, I think she's just starting to realize kind of the lengths, you know, what she's going to be asked to sacrifice as a member of Pope and Associates. And so, I don't know, I think that's part of what makes me like Abby, even though she drives me batty sometimes, because she is so judgmental. But at the same time, I agree, she's the one who'll tell Olivia, like, you're wrong.
But, you know, initially it was Quinn questioning everything, just like you all were saying. Like, she was looking at everything with fresh eyes, and she's like, why are we following this lady blindly? And somebody did have to do that. So it was her first season, and it switched to Abby's second season.
Right.
So that's appropriate. What were your favorite... don't follow, no sheeple up in OPA. No sheeple. So what was your favorite 2 quotes out of this episode?
I wrote mine down so I would remember. Well, I just loved Harrison in the beginning, you know, as he establishes the whole gladiator in suits thing, you know, and I thought that was really, really great. And obviously that's something that has carried on, you know, from the first season till now. And then, yeah, my favorite, you know, in this episode when Fitz, you know, says to Olivia, look at me. You know, when he shoves her in that, when he's pushing her back into the corner, and he said, he's just saying, look at me to her. It was just like, I remember I was watching this episode, and it was like, oh, this is a good show. And then that happened. I was just like, what is going on?
That's when you see the dynamic, though. It's just like, oh, my God. Oh, it looks so good. Like, you definitely would want that kind of relationship where a man is just like, girl.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I had a moment.
Okay, you know.
I'm sorry. Okay, so we're gonna go backwards. Olivia, what was your favorite 2 quotes?
I like the whole interaction with in the beginning with Quinn and Harrison when she called him a baby lawyer. You're a baby lawyer, and he's like, I'm not a baby lawyer. And what was the other one? It was. Oh, it's Harrison. I love everything he says. He says Olivia Pope is not a good guy. She's not the bad guy. She's the best guy.
Yeah, something like that.
She's like, well, is Olivia the a good guy? She's not a good guy. She's the best guy. I was like, yes, you know. Everything Harrison says is like the best quote ever to me.
Somebody has a crush on Harrison, and I'm pointing fingers. What about you, Kelsey?
I really liked at the end when Olivia's talking to Lieutenant Sully, and she says like, who you are and who you love shouldn't be a secret. And you know, it's like obviously she's talking about herself and Fitz, but she's saying it to this guy who's lying about being gay. Like, I really liked that.
What were your 3 favorite highlights during this episode? Like, what were 3 moments that kind of stood out for you all?
I mean, the Oval Office scene is number 1 for sure, just because I think that was the point in the episode, like I said, where I had been watching and it was good and I was going to keep watching, but when that scene came on, I wasn't expecting it. Like, I had thought, oh, this is a political show, but I hadn't reached the point yet where I realized there was something going on between the 2 of them, so I was definitely like, okay, what just happened? And it was, yeah.
On camera, you're like, oh, so something juicy is about to happen.
Yeah, so we need to go someplace where there's no camera, so what's about to happen now in the corner? So I loved that. Even, too, you know, as Olivia, when she thinks that Amanda is lying, you know, that scene when she goes to see her on the park bench as well, and she just pretty much lays it out for her. That was pretty intense also.
I like that scene too, just because you kind of realize how put together she is when she brings Quinn along to be like,
yeah,
her witness. And, like, if he gets subpoenaed, and I was like, oh man, she's on her game.
Yeah.
And Quinn's like, Quinn was like, you, Poppy. She was like, what just happened? What just happened?
What was I just a part of? Yeah.
What were you saying, Olivia?
I like the awkward moment at Camp David when she's talking to Mellie and then Fitz comes out and, you know, Cyrus and Mellie are just kind of waiting to see how they're going to react to each other. It was just so tense at that moment, you know. I'm like, that's when I was like, what is happening? What's going on with these people? You know, and he's just like so happy to see her. I'm like, wait a minute. His wife is right here. What you know, but I just thought that was very, I don't know, it just stood out to me because everybody just kind of held their breath like, uh-oh, they're going to talk. They're going to talk. What happens?
Do you think that, well, of course they knew. I'm not going to ask that question. Go ahead, Kelsey. What was your favorite?
I think when Cyrus learns about the affair, like he walks in and you kind of just like see it hit his face really slowly. He's like, "What did I just walk in on?" Although I still kind of can't believe that he didn't figure it out before that point. But I guess
Well, maybe I think they kept it well hidden.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't know until that point. So clearly, they were intentioning for us to be believing that they were just platonic friends. She just helped him win the campaign. Defiance didn't come up not one time. He didn't even know about Defiance till this season. So yeah, I think that they just really wanted us to also believe, because we also saw it from Cyrus's eyes too, if you want to look at it that way, where he was like, what? And we're all like, huh? So we kind of all had the same reaction at the same time.
Yeah.
So there is the case with Sully St. James. I don't know why I keep calling this man Sally, but Sully St. James, and and also the other case with the baby. What do you think those two cases added to? Actually, there were like 3 cases in this one episode. Because you had Amanda Tanner too.
Yeah, Amanda.
So what do you think? Did the cases add to the episode, or did it kind of take away from it? Did it add to the storyline? Did it help us to understand more about what is going to happen, with further? Of course, we know, but still, we have to act all like we don't.
Like we don't know.
Right.
I think it definitely establishes things, like the baby, right? Because that was pretty much at the beginning of the episode. It really kind of shows you how he works, how Olivia works.
They left the baby in the box for
that was weird. Every time I watch that episode, it's just like, why did we wait to take the baby out of the box until? I get that it's shock factor, but child abuse, basically.
They left the baby in the box for untold minutes.
Yeah.
Wait till your mama come get you.
Yeah.
And not a sound either. No crying. Just. The
best baby ever.
No scuffling on the box. The baby just chilling like.
Well, when they pull the baby out, they say like, "Do you know how to change a diaper?" or something to Quinn when she asks what she can do.
Yeah, that's right.
So you just left this baby marinating in its own juices in this box, like, wow. So what about the rest of you?
Yeah, I think. When you even just you find out that they do pay off the kidnappers, you kind of learn that they're not lawyers, and they're they're not working within the legal system. They're kind of willing to get their hands a little dirty to fix the problems of their clients, and so I think that's like a good first impression of what they do. Just like going into the show.
So what about the one with Sully St. James? Do you think that kind of added to the storyline for this episode?
Well, I think that was like the beginning of the, how so many of the cases in season 2 just really kind of mirrored what was happening in Olivia's life. And this case is, another example of that. I think somebody said that earlier, that speech that she gives, that she has with him, that chat where she tells him, he shouldn't have to be ashamed of who he loves. And that she's talking to herself as she says that, to him. So, and I think I like it best when that happens, when real life and whatever case she's working on kind of mirrors, kind of clashes together.
Yeah, because it makes for a nice mess.
Yeah.
That we're all there for. So if blank would have happened, or if blank would have done blank, this episode would have been perfect. What are your predictions to say that this episode would have been perfect if someone had done something?
If Mellie had been a little bit more Mellie. She was just so nice and sugary sweet, and I was like, that is not the woman that I know. It's not who she becomes at all. I feel like it was a false introduction. Who she is.
True. I think if Olivia had resisted just a little bit more in the Oval Office, this man just lied to you and he slept with someone else. I know to come here, look at me, yeah, that would have got me, but just a little bit more resistance from her, I think would have been, I'd have been like, yeah, okay, I can feel that. She just kind of was like, Okay,
She
fine.
melts because that's her heart.
I know, but girl, it's like he lied. He's straight, and he's calling her sweet baby too. What? No,
Yeah,
no.
exactly,
He would have
exactly.
got a
Give me a
sweet
little
baby to
bit
the
more,
sack.
give in. It's fine. You can give in, but just give me a little bit more care about yourselfness, It's like, I care about my
What is that, and where can I get some of that? Is it a box with the baby? Some care about yourselfness.
It
What
was something
about
like you get though that at that point they hadn't seen each other probably for a while, which is almost like a closet gate where they basically attack each other. So it's almost like they're just showing us again that here's this woman who we keep telling you to trust her gut and we keep telling you how put together she is, but look what happens to her when we put her in a room with this man.
Sure.
Basically, she loses her mind.
So Scandal has become an incredible phenomenon with all the social media aspects of the show. What about the plot keeps you coming back for more?
It's just so juicy. And you never know. The cases are so off the wall. You don't ever know what they're going to be handling in this show.
That's true. But they pull it from the media, if you think about it,
Yeah.
Because that's what I was like, you know what? They pulled a lot of these cases from the media. Shonda is literally combing like the Times, the Post, whatever. They're pulling it straight from the media. So.
And what she does too is she takes it and then she puts her own little twist on it.
Exactly, which is probably the truth.
Yeah, that is true. I love it too because I feel like I'm a smart TV watcher, and most times when I'm watching something, I can figure out. It's very rare for me to be surprised when I'm watching something, and I don't mind because I can figure things out. But like, this show has surprised me so many times. I mean, I will never forget when Fitz killed Verna. I mean, I just was seriously like, what is happening? I was not expecting that.
Did we see that?
Yeah,
Yes. Pillow and
we see her view as her life ends and she's looking at him and we see her. Yeah,
I don't recall seeing that. I was like, he killed her. Where was I for that?
yes.
No, I knew by the time they said he killed her, but
because remember he takes off her oxygen mask and then he holds her hands down so that she can't use the call button and she can't. So
didn't even know what was going on. I need to watch more Grey's, Olivia.
But stuff like that, I mean, where it's just like they definitely like, I just feel like they're not afraid to kind of bring the crazy every week. A lot of shows do the kind of like, we're going to bring you something really, really good, but we're going to save that for Sweeps Week, or we're going to save that for your season finale. I mean, like, that could have been a season finale. That would have been a heck of a cliffhanger. But it's like they do that every week where it's like, you better watch because something crazy is going to happen and you're going to miss it and then you're going to be mad. And so
you can't even
shot too. It was the same
10 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that should have been a season finale.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally. I like that a lot because I don't like it. I don't love filler TV, so I can't stand that when I love a show and it's like they've got a storyline, but then they want to wait to finish the storyline. So then all of a sudden you get this episode that is got nothing to do with nothing, and you're just kind of like, what was that?
Yeah.
Like what happened to the story, And then next week we'll come back to that. So I hope a lot of more shows kind of learn that from Scandal that. We want to.
They can be compelling all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It makes it harder for them as writers, but get to work.
It doesn't. You know what? Because when Scandal opens up, it doesn't always go back to where we really want what we really want to see. You know what I mean?
Well,
it switches
because
scenes.
We can watch an hour of Olitz, but that's not going to happen.
I was saying that on the podcast. I'm like, if they ever take that out, the show is dead. I mean, you live for those moments where he's cornering her, he's grabbing. I want him to grab her weave one time and see what she do. I want to see that.
Imagine? That would not
reaction.
Women all over the world would be like, "Did you see that?" No.
Yeah, like, oh no.
Hey, she got the weave wet.
Oh, I know. She was. No, oh, she got on a cap, honey.
Come on, no, remember the episode when she's in her bedroom when Jake is watching on the cameras and she's got her like little curls and she's sitting on the bed and she's being sad and I was just like, oh, look at Olivia.
I think she did get it wet in the shower.
Yes, yes.
She's like, I don't care about this.
Care not.
I'm about to get my whole life with this.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So based on this episode, what predictions do you have for season 3?
This episode?
Yeah.
Oh.
Kelsey, you had to like
this
you ain't
episode. I'm like,
I just think Quinn's gonna go crazy. Just like this reminded me how innocent she started, I guess. Like, oh, she was kind of like the moral compass, and now she's insane.
Yeah.
So I kind of see her.
Go ahead.
Continuing that spiral.
But you know, this episode showed Quinn as a like an intern for Harrison, and then this second season she was almost like an intern for Huck. So it's almost like she doesn't have her own identity, and they're just allowing her to try on everybody's role.
Right.
Think that?
What works for her.
At the same time, though, I mean, it's like she took Huck's role to the 10th degree. You know what I mean?
Well, it's like she likes to be a good student.
Well, she had to. Huck checked out on us for a minute, so someone had to step up and be Huck Jr.
Which is scary, really, because I mean that's part of the Olivia realizing that she definitely has taken it too far with him, because there's no way she should be asking him to do stuff like that. She knows that he's not at a point where he can do that and come back from that. So.
But I want him to do
rocking in the corner. It's like, go find the information. Go get the Cytron card. Really? 752.
I was like, 752. What is this? What's going on?
But it also showed you how they have to operate without Huck. Like, they have to still be a unit, even if he's not capable of holding up his end.
Yeah.
Right.
Were there any dangling parts of this plot that you haven't seen in the second season that may come back? Because old boy Billy came back, so I'm just saying.
I couldn't think of any. I mean, minus Steven, obviously, but
Steven's gonna run for president or something.
Yeah.
Oh, now that's
No,
a good
not really.
twist. I like that.
It was weird because I just rewatched Scandal with, like, my sister had not watched it, and she was visiting, and she was just like, let's watch Scandal. So I was like, yeah. So we watched season 1 and most of season 2, and it was like, yeah, going back to season 1 and seeing Billy Chambers, it was definitely like, Billy Chambers, back before we knew you were crazy.
Yeah.
It's just kind of funny.
What do you think is going to happen to the OPA team?
They're going to get attacked. I think they're going to try to, like, dismantle them, or at least they're going to come under heavy fire. I think a lot more secrets are going to come out in this next season.
Yeah.
A lot more of who they were. Just like how we found out about Huck and his family, I think everybody else's past. Like, we really don't know, much about Harrison other than she got him out of jail. What was his backstory? So I think we're going to see a lot more dirty laundry coming up.
What do you all think?
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna fall apart a little more, maybe. Like, be a little bit less cohesive as a group. I know they kind of went through that this season, but I kind of can see that them just completely falling apart for a little bit.
I think they just really did when they just let David come in, and I was like, I never saw that coming. Never saw it coming. But he doesn't.
But then he's a good guy, man.
He doesn't, but he does. He hates what they represent, and he was so bitter when his stuff fell apart. There was no way that I believed that he was just ready to be a gladiator. He lost everything.
But he did get it back. See, like, I feel like he does, like, I don't know, like, he got a chance to kind of get down in the trenches with them,
exactly.
like, and see what they did.
Really
right.
And it's like, it's not, obviously, we know, especially from going back to watch season 1, that he is by the letter of the law, that is what David is, but at the same time, I felt like for him getting to kind of, live and breathe and sleep and eat OPA, it was kind of like, okay, like, I see what you guys do and I get it. And I don't know, I felt like, at the end when he made that point of making sure Olivia knew that you're my friend, and, when he sent her the audio tape of him telling that to Billy Chambers, like, they're my friends, and giving her the white hat back, it was just kind of very symbolic. I feel like, in season 3, they're obviously going to be in, like, massive repair, because as Olivia says when she leaves Fitz, basically I took it too far and they need me. And I think that's so true. And I mean, Quinn and Huck are two huge examples of that, but they all do, I think. And I think it's not just them, it's her too. And it's more of them trying to get back to, because obviously they totally went dark side in season 2, and they did some stuff that was just not fantastic.
Right.
So I think it's about them saying, okay, look, are we going to be the good guys? If that's the case, then we need to figure out how we get back to that.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with Quinn, though, because I think, she's already kind of taken a step into, torture land. So I guess we'll see what happens with that.
From there, yeah.
I agree with
she'll
you.
She'll be the one asking Olivia, do you need me to kill someone for you?
Oh, wow.
And
she liked that blood splatter.
Quinn.
She enjoyed the blood splatter. Like, she was like,
I'm like, exactly. And then when they get back and she's all talking real fast to him, like, I feel like I'm on drugs. Oh my gosh. And she's all excited about what she did. And it was just like, really?
You know what's bad when you scare Huck. You know what's bad when Huck is like.
I was like, I don't want no party. You close this door. Shades, I'm going in the corner. But I agree with you about the thing with David, because he always looked at everything so black, so white. There was no shade of gray. But now he has a big shade of gray because he knows that their purpose is to try to help. That's usually what their purpose is. They're not trying to kill people and do all that crazy stuff. That's Cyrus.
Oh,
I like her. So what do you think, Kelsey?
Oh, for the upcoming season?
Yes.
Kind of the same thing. Just I kind of want to watch Quinn spiral. I think that we're gonna learn more about Harrison.
Wait, somebody's echoing.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear that?
Yeah, I heard it.
Oh, did you?
Wait, I think nope, it's still there.
That's you.
It was doing it before.
That's you, Kelsey. I hear me, and I hear me.
I'm echoing now.
Okay, so I have a few other questions. Reston, now that he knows that Fitz is not really president, what do you think will become of that situation?
Governor Reston. He doesn't really have any evidence, though. The evidence is gone, so it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, the secret, but no one's really going to believe you because you can't prove it. So
how many cards David made?
But remember, the one he made was a fake. The other one he made was just a fake to trick Billy. It was blank.
But they didn't test that card that he gave to Cyrus.
Yeah, they didn't show us him testing it, but I'd have to think that he's an idiot if he didn't do that. And I hope he's not an idiot. So I guess we'll see. I hope they put that to bed, because I'm done with Defiance. I don't want to do any Defiance anymore. So I hope that was the real card that Cyrus smashed in his office.
Yeah, we've had enough.
If somebody says something about Defiance, I'm going to throw something on my TV. That would not be good. So I hope that is done, because... But my thing about Governor Reston is I wouldn't doubt, what if he ran again against Fitz? What if he, because I think Sally Langston is done, because of...
I hope she is.
The scandal.
I like her. She's so fun.
Oh, just because, remember in the press conference that Fitz does at the end, towards the end of the season, and he makes that point again that Billy Chambers, who used to work for Vice President Langston, it's like he puts that jab in there, because that makes her seem like you hired a madman to be your chief of staff at one point, and now he's back and he's selling secrets. I mean, like, who comes back from that? So I wouldn't be surprised if we had a new vice president, but I don't think it's going to be Governor Reston, but maybe he'll run against Fitz.
So now that you brought that up, do you think that she had anything to do with Billy's mission to take down the administration? You think her hands are dirty too?
I don't think so, because to me, she would think that was sinful. She's so kind of like, I don't know. I didn't think so, or if she did, I mean, they didn't give any hint of that. I thought
she might have turned a blind eye to it. Maybe she might have had suspicions, but I don't.
But he was gone at that point, right? He didn't work for her anymore, so.
But that doesn't mean he wasn't still in contact.
Right, because she knew everything else that was going on,
That is true.
And he had all access to all of the, White House stuff. because that was a point that they made in that last episode where Billy Chambers was like negotiating with Charlie. And speaking of Charlie, where is Charlie?
Charlie better be hiding somewhere under a rock.
Off the map.
They closed this out with Jake, you know what I'm saying? But where's Charlie? He's just out in the wind. They even explained who oh gosh, what's his name? I can't think of his name. Olivia's father.
Oh,
Rowan.
Rowan. They even explained who he was. But the question dangles in the air, where's Charlie? He's coming back, and it's going to be something crazy.
He'll be back at some point, yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh, go ahead.
No, I kind of see. What's for Edison? I don't know. I think he's gonna try to have a go at the office. I don't know. I have this feeling he's coming back.
That's an interesting thought because he is a Democrat.
Right.
So that is an interesting thought right there. Oh, I hate Edison, so I would love that.
I liked him. I thought he was a nice guy. I did.
He was so annoying.
He was the worst.
I was mad when she
He
went back
just
to
wanted to love her.
He was the worst. Come on, no, he was like I got a key to your apartment and I'm going to be sitting on your couch whenever you come home. He just was so
She
annoying.
gave him a key.
Oh, she needs to take it back.
Well, I see I won't be sitting on Poppy's couch when she come home.
Although, if you think about it, everyone had access to that apartment. I mean, so many people, she would come home and find just all kinds of people in her apartment.
That I couldn't believe. I couldn't believe how many people were in there planting cameras and bugs and taking them out. I was just like,
And she had no idea.
yeah. No,
They had a
more for
standard
her.
weekly sweep,
Yeah.
They
Which
had a standard
obviously
weekly
Jake
sweep.
worked around.
which was stupid. You don't have a weekly dedicated time sweep. It's a random sweep.
See, those are the times when Scandal has holes in their storytelling. Because I'm sorry, when I saw that, I thought Huck would never do that. The Huck that I know and love would know better than to be like, every Tuesday I go check the camera.
Yes.
You know, like he would not do that. But they did that for storytelling's sake. You know that.
That was crazy. I didn't like that at all. I'm like, nobody. I wouldn't even have. I'm a common person. I do nothing illegal, but come on. Like, a friend of mine was arrested, and he was like, yeah, I didn't have drugs in my car, but somebody dropped drugs in my car.
Oh, Lord.
I'm like, you're a fool. You need to listen to some Jay-Z. You don't let them search your car
unless you know for sure.
Yeah. And I know I don't have anything, and I'm still not letting you search my car.
Yeah.
Insane. So, yeah, okay. So, Fitz tucked his tail between his legs and went back to Mellie at the end of the season. But for how long? And he looks so crushed when his face is in her lap. And I'm just like, so do you think that when it comes back, they'll have some kind of cooling period?
I hated the season finale for that reason, because I felt like his character had done all of this growth, you know, like, and we've gotten this. I mean, remember when in the hospital room scene with him and Cyrus and Mellie, where he basically just told her, like, like, this is what's about to happen, you need to get it together. And even when Edison had asked Olivia to marry him, and
like,
Fitz she were talking, Fitz says to Olivia, like, well, first of all, you're not going to marry Edison, but even if you do marry him, I am still getting divorced. Like, you know, he was determined to do that. And so it was like, I felt like we had established the fact that he doesn't need her to run, and then all of a sudden he goes back. I absolutely hated it. Absolutely hated it. And like, the big thing that everybody was talking about after the season finale was that Shonda Rhimes changed the end, at the last minute. Like, they actually recorded a different ending. They recorded an ending where Fitz and Olivia decide that they're going to keep their affair going in secret, but Fitz pretends like he's going back to Mellie, kind of in submission type of thing. And then at the last minute of editing, she decided to cut that out. She decided that she wanted her to put the white hat back on, like, in every area of her life, and so she cut those scenes out of the finale. So, I don't know, it just felt weird and wrong, and I hated it.
I have a question. This whole season unraveled with her relationship with Fitz and how messy everything got and how many declarations they made to each other. Did it really make sense the way she's just so ready to say, no, I can't do it anymore. Like, I just didn't feel that. It didn't make any sense to me. They went through hell, and then she just was like, you know what?
Never mind.
I'm a gladiator.
My gladiators need me. Yeah, really? Like, we can't both need you? I know.
Over a little bitty murder.
Gladiators killed for this, and now you don't want it? Doesn't make any sense.
I didn't feel, I agree. I felt like it didn't make sense. And I'm getting tired of the way they're doing the back and forth. Like, I get the back and forth between the two of them, but I'm also getting kind of weary of it. And so it's kind of like, I hope in season 3 that they figure out how to do something. Because, I don't know, we're adults. Make a decision. You know, do something. And I know it's a TV show, and they wanted to drag it out because that's what TV shows do. But at the same end, it's like they're so good at storytelling in other areas, I don't get why they can't, you know, apply those same principles to the Olitz relationship and figure out something there. Because I just feel like if we go back into the season with, you know, them giving longing looks across the room at each other or staring at the TV because the other one's on the TV, it's like that's gonna get old to me. So
wasn't it the best scene though when they went to Cyrus's baby shower? I loved it. I loved her walking down the, you know, and he was like, and she just stopped walking, slowed down, and looked.
Yeah. Closet gate.
Okay, I gotta.
Mellie just kind of grew up and just left him, but I don't know if they would do that.
Yeah.
Mellie's not gonna do that, and I think Mellie loves Fitz. I think.
Oh no, she definitely does. But...
And especially with the whole Blair House thing, I was just like, girl, he is not coming. You might as well just get in the car and drag off, because I would not be sitting there waiting on this dude.
I think Mellie loves Fitz as much as she can love a person. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like she loves him. Like, I don't know that that's, like, real love. To me, that's like...
Does. She has 3 kids for this man.
That's all I know.
Blair, you're not using my vagina as an exit strategy. And I don't know you. I'm just saying.
I bet you one of those kids is a 0.5. Like, it's all a big picture. When I found out that she knew her dad basically sold her into marriage to Fitz, that's when I was that's when I started questioning how she really felt.
Yeah. Well, and remember that conversation in that episode when after they've told that story of how they met, which is a lie, basically,
right.
And then they have that conversation and you get that Mellie is saying to him, like, basically us faking it is what's real, and that's what real love is and all this stuff. And it's like you realize, like, woman, what do you really think love is? Like, you get that she doesn't really have a concept of what it is to be loved by her husband. And so I don't know, it just makes me feel like a lot of times I think you can't obviously have kids and live with somebody that long and not have affection for them. And I do think she does, but I also think if Fitz wants to leave with Olivia or if he wants to do whatever, that bothers Mellie because it's like no one's going to take away my position. No one is going to make me look like a fool. Right. No one is going, you know, it's more she's concerned about what that does to her than it is of I want to be in this relationship. I love my husband.
Right. They had a deal.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, this was the plan. So he's trying to deviate from the plan, and she's not having it because she's not going to benefit from this deviation. So she's like, no, I'm not having it.
Yeah,
I kind of don't agree.
That's okay.
I agree with you, Olivia. I don't agree with Poppy. The reason I'm saying that is because I think that she does love Fitz, but knowing that Fitz doesn't love her has allowed her to adapt it the way she is explaining what love is, or she's adapted to the situation rather than, you know, just, is that me echoing? It bothers me so much. I cannot even focus. I'm just like, why am I hearing me? But yeah, I think she just really adapted to the situation rather than, because I know for me, if I was in love with somebody and I stood for his dirty draws, you know, I'm just like, I'm there for you for everything. And he was literally sneaking behind my back with this other woman, and I knew about it, but I still loved him. I would just be like, well, that's really what love is, because you kind of have to explain it to yourself to stay in the situation. And even if they had a deal, she was probably trying to explain it to herself to stay in the situation. So that's
remember at the end of season 1 when Olivia sabotages herself yet again and decides to, you know, help, you know, put Fitz, you know, make sure that Fitz keeps his job, and so she goes to Mellie. And they figure out a way, and they remember that conversation they have where Mellie says to her, you didn't do your job, basically. Why didn't you keep doing what you were supposed to do? And then she tells her, I'm going to need to take my husband back because apparently I'm going to have to do it. You know, like, she's just pretty much like, she knew what was going on, and she lets Olivia know that. But to me, it again shows that it's like, she knows what's going on, and she allowed that to happen because it was beneficial to her.
She was
like,
okay.
You take care. She was okay with that because that's what we need to do to make Fitz president and make me first lady. That we need to do that. I don't know. I just feel like if Mellie loves him, then it is a warped kind of love. And
it is a warped love, but I think she does love him.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
It's a selfless love because she really wants him to have what he wants.
Oh,
and she
my
knows.
Gosh. No, she does.
I do believe that. I do believe that.
Only if she gets what she wants.
Yes.
Well, she's not getting anything. All she's doing is she's arm candy. That's in a conservative arm candy at that. She's not. I mean, what is she getting? I mean, there's.
I agree with Kelsey. I wish she would go off and just do. I really do wish she would do that. Like, go just.
And she had the opportunity this last season. She should have done it. She should have just left this button.
She should have.
Well, it's
out.
She may. She may.
I really do hope she does, because I would like to see another side of her, because I would love to see her in the political ring, and I know that's something she wants to do. So it's like,
and she's a lawyer.
Exactly, and I know, and you know, she's kind of expressed that to Cyrus, basically like, look, I will get on TV and then I will go run my campaign, you know, after I tell everyone what Fitz is doing and blah blah blah. So let her go off and run against him. Now that would be interesting.
That would be. So if Jake was B16, B613 is B613, and Fitz is like an old Navy buddy or whatever, seeing how easily Fitz killed Verna, does that not make you think that at one point he also had experience with B613?
I can see it. We know that Cyrus knows about it, right?
Yeah, we know something happened because they mentioned that. Cyrus does mention that. Yeah. But
I don't think he knows what.
Yeah,
no, something. Yeah, he does, because remember he said something. He said specifically about the city, like it was something that happened overseas. I can't remember what episode that was, but Cyrus says something to. It's when he's giving him the spiel about you need to let me back in, and he says something to him like, "Look, I know you did things when you were over and such, but they don't ever go further than that." I don't think he is though. B613, just because.
He's supposed to be a good guy, like politically.
Yeah, I don't think that. I mean, I think that's something that Jake got involved in after he got back from the war, and maybe more recently. So I don't know, but you never know. Who knows?
Why is it that every woman that gets close to Fitz ends up dead?
Cyrus.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean,
that is my answer too.
Well, Monica Lewinsky's still walking around. I'm just saying. I'm going to need people to have sex with the president and get up and walk off.
Yeah, exactly. Have we seen Monica lately?
I would have changed my name. Everything would have been changed. So do you have any final comments about this episode or predictions for next season?
I just want Olivia to have a relationship that lasts more than 3 days with someone. You know, she needs more than 3 days of happiness and sex. That's what I think. It's not fair.
I think you just like that because your name is Olivia.
She's really talking about herself.
Seriously, though. I think she's a beautiful woman. You know, she's smart, and as smart as she is, her personal life is just so sad to me. It's like, oh my God, you know, every time you think that she's just going to have a little piece of happiness, right when you start getting used to it, it's gone. It's like, it's so destroyed. You're like, well, what's she going to do now, you know?
But you know what, Olivia, where do you think that happiness was coming from? Because y'all already talk trash, mad trash about my homeboy Edison, and Jake was a straight up stalker, crazy boy.
I love Jake. Do not get me started about that.
I could not stand him.
Jake stalked because the president told him to stalk. So don't act like Jake was just putting those cameras in there for his own.
If Huck had a blow dart
right?
and did like this,
you know that
I would not.
Is season 3 regular on Scandal.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying, if Huck had a blow dart and would have into Jake's neck, heart, throat, whatever, I would not have been mad. I'd be like, what? Yeah, he's
I
gone.
feel like they showed us that Jake was not a bad guy by the end, though. You know,
He's a bad guy.
Why is he a bad guy?
They put him in the hole.
He needed to be in the hole.
You have not given me a valid reason why. Poor Jake. I feel like
I just don't like him.
Why?
That is not good enough.
You gotta do the eyes with it. I don't know why I don't like him. I just don't. Like, I don't get it.
Jake is
It's not logical.
Guy, you know, like
he's a jerk.
Jake,
I didn't want to like him, but I couldn't help it.
He's not normal.
Wow.
You didn't want to like Jake, but you did like him. Olivia, you
yeah,
betrayed me. You're just like Olivia Pope in my eyes.
Good job, Olivia.
No.
I like Jake because Jake is that normal guy who doesn't have any attachments and
he's normal.
well,
exactly. Records his own house. He recorded them having
Olivia,
sex.
people. He's
Come
on.
on. Oh my gosh.
Let's not forget that. And for Olivia's father, who I can't wait to figure that out in season 3. That's what I want to see in season 3. Because who's the father who sends somebody to sleep with his daughter? Who
You
does
should have
that?
seen my face when I saw
And
that.
bring me the recording when you're done. I mean, really, Dad? That definitely says a lot about what that background is about. So
Gross.
I'm excited to learn more about that. But I like Jake because I don't know, and I feel like we got that by the end that he wasn't a horrible guy, you know. But I like Jake because it's like,
look at her face.
You got at the end. I didn't.
possibly not. I don't understand you. Get it together.
No.
Well, Jake will be back for season 3, so I'm sure we will. There will be lots more people hating on him.
I'd rather than bring back Steven.
Or Jake.
Heck, they could bring back Sully.
Wow.
Give Harrison a real storyline. Hello.
Yeah, now that too. Harrison needs some action. Everyone else got some action, you know.
Harrison was in one episode, Olivia, and there was absolutely no reason for him to be there. I was sitting there like, why is Harrison even in this episode? Every line he had could have been cut out. Like,
which one?
I cannot remember. I did the podcast review on it. I was just so disgusted. I was like, really? Man, look, you don't even need to be here. Why are you here, Harrison? What did you come to this episode for? Take a vacation. Take a day off. You don't need to be here. I mean, he had like 4 lines. And speaking of 4 lines, Bellamy also said that when she started, because, you know, we did this first episode, she said that her character only had 4 lines, period. Yeah. Like, they didn't really know if Mellie was going to be a recurring character or not. So when you were saying earlier, Kelsey, that you wish that she had more to say and was more of the dynamic woman that she became. Yeah, she only had 4 lines. They didn't even know she was going to
I remember reading that they didn't make her a series regular till like halfway through the first season. But
which is insane.
She's still great.
Yeah, I can't imagine it without her. She's definitely like...
Yeah.
She's evil and wonderful.
A tiger shark. I like her.
Exactly. Evil and wonderful. That is Mellie. She is definitely...
What are your predictions, Kelsey, for this 3rd season?
I don't know if I have predictions, just as much as I just want to see what happens. Like, I really want them to do more with Harrison.
I think Harrison could die. I mean, he's sexy.
Yeah.
Oh.
We can get really attached to him, and then they can kill him.
Not happy right now.
But I honestly do. I don't see a purpose for him right now. I don't understand what.
I think he was more important in the first season than he's been in this one.
Yes, he's just really been on Olivia's
kind of been a puppet.
Yeah, just on it.
I wonder though, if because obviously before Olivia, like towards the end of the season, you know how she gave him all the folders. You know,
she trusts him more than anybody
else.
Like
gives him the if something happens to me, here's how you guys are going to keep going, type of thing. But now that Olivia's been named as Fitz's mistress, it makes me wonder if she's going to be on lockdown somewhere. If Harrison is not going to be kind of running OPA, you know.
They might put her. They might waterboard her like they did Huck, and then she'll be in the corner talking about.
I'll waterboard her. Who'd you have an affair with? Waterboarded for adultery. There you go.
It was good, but it ain't this good.
Right. Who do you think did that? Like, who do you think leaked Olivia's name?
I think it was
her dad.
I think it was Mellie. I think it was Mellie.
You think it was Mellie?
I do. Or Abby, honestly.
You
Abby
really
is
don't
some
like Abby.
scandalous mess. She's a mess.
Oh.
I think Abby would throw her own mama under the train, be like, she had to die, I just had to do it. You know, she's so cold. She's very cold. Y'all say that Mellie is cold. I think Abby is cold. I really do. I think she pretends to be good, but she is damaged, and I don't like it. But Harrison is cute in his little suits. I have to say,
his little like
yeah. And everybody is standing for Tony Gold when they think he is so sexy. I'm like, look, I like him, but a man with no eyebrows, I need you to have that drawn in and makeup or something. I can't do it. You kill Sam. I still look at him like that. You kill Sam and Ghost, and I just can't.
Yeah, it took me several episodes into the first season to get over that. Like, you're the bad guy in Ghost. Like, you got dragged away by some demons. So I don't understand what you're doing here.
I don't trust you. You killed.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can't wiggle your dang on eyebrows, we don't have nothing to talk about.
Oh my God.
So thank you, ladies, for joining me for this episode of the Scandal Rewind series. And I am your host, Jaha Knight. Hello. And I'm so excited that we did this. This was great. I loved it.
Fun. Thank you.
Really fun. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.